Take 3 Wrestling Podcast. We're live. It is Thursday night, April the 24th, 2025. And we're here to talk about all things WrestleMania 41 from Viva, not Rock Vegas. We will break down what was the good, the bad, and the thank God I didn't waste my money on this trip.
You ain't lying.
We will also talk about a couple of other things I know Joe and Jim are bringing to the table. To be fair, I don't remember because personal life has made the last 40-ish hours a blur.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what I'm bringing besides this. Let's talk about some WrestleMania.
Joe does have something in the tank. I don't remember what it was. But while we wait for Joe to get here, I would be remiss if we did not mention we have reached the end of season 1 of the fantasy wrestling here on the Take 3 Wrestling Podcast. Yours truly victorious. I did not lead wire to wire. I was not in first place after the first couple weeks, but I did figure it out. I was victorious. I finished with a season 1 point total of 220 points. Jim in second with 161. Joe with 140. I'm going to say that it's probably because he left 0 point scoring Logan Paul on his roster for too many weeks, but I'll digress to that. We have made a couple of tweaks for season number 2. We're going to up the points for winning a title and for retaining the titles. No other changes to the scoring in terms of winning matches and things along those lines. But there is one big wrinkle that is going to take place in season number 2. I'm 90% sure Tim from the 3CT show will be joining us as the 4th man of the fantasy wrestling. So there will be some weeks where we do some roster moves off air, and I just kind of go over the roster moves here. For those of you that are following along at home, before Joe gets here, do we want to make any changes to the physical roster?
No, I think 10 and
Okay.
the structure of it works well.
Okay. Works for me. Just wanted to bring it to the table. That was something. Figured we were at the end of the season to be a good time to figure out where we stood in that regard if anybody wanted to make any kind of moves. Plus, I figured it was draft night, so I figured if anyone's going to make a move,
it would be the night to do it.
It'd be the night to do it because it's moving and shaking time across the National Football League. We will be live this coming up Wednesday?
Tuesday or Wednesday. I got
one of the days. Out.
Either Tuesday or Wednesday, Huddle Up will be live previewing or reviewing the draft and talking about some NFL offseason stuff up to this point. So,
man, I can't wait for that show. Student of the game, Kyle Nash is there. I'm going to have to hear about how Shadur got robbed not going in the first round.
Yeah, these dumb idiots. They don't know what well, I mean, EJ's going to give Kyle a run for his money, apparently, the way he's talking. And
the way that he loves Jackson Dart.
Well, no, he wanted Shador. And I was like,
yes, please.
He's like, this could bite a team in the ass 5 years from now. I'm like, yeah, I could look like Channing Tatum by Christmas. Like, we'll see. We've seen many great quarterbacks fall through the cracks as GMs overthink the room. Yeah, we've also seen guys just not get drafted where other people think they are because they love the kid's dad too much. But what do I know?
I mean, you can't compare every quarterback to Thomas Edward, Patrick Beaver, Brady.
Right.
You just can't.
No.
So the fact of the matter is that you think that quarterbacks fall that far. I mean, Let's play a fun, quick game here while Joe gets himself situated before we get into the real reason why we're here.
He's situated. He just can't be on camera yet because he's doing stuff that RVD would approve of.
Again, so once you get yourself medicated,
Fair.
take your vitamins. How many good quarterbacks right now in the NFL? And I'm going to preface this with good quarterbacks in this NFL landscape were drafted in like the 4th round or later. 2?
I thought the question was just how many good quarterbacks are there, and I was going to say 21.
That's also not a bad answer, Joe. Like Brock Purdy?
Yeah.
Is he the only one not drafted in the first like 4 rounds that's starting in the NFL right now?
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can pull that up.
I mean, there aren't a lot of quarterbacks that are, quote, slipping through the cracks and getting to the 2nd and 3rd round that were like, damn, can't believe Dak Prescott fell that far.
You know what bothers me about Brock Purdy's name?
It reminds you too much of, I don't know.
Okay, I was like, wait, if you got something. No, it's the fact that his last name is literally how his grandfather hit on his grandmother. He was like, your mouth sure is Purdy, and now all of a sudden he plays in the NFL.
The LA Rams and the Cleveland Browns now own double 1st-round picks in the 2026 draft. Get wrecked, nerds.
Yeah, because like Kyler Murray, there's hardly any.
Like, I'm sorry. What great even think about history. What great quarterbacks are we talking about that?
Right. Brady?
Yeah.
Like Tony Romo was undrafted. Like
Rusty?
He was what, 3rd round?
3rd?
Right. So like,
what's your definition of falling through the cracks? Like,
yeah.
Oh man, I can't believe that Lamar Jackson fell through the cracks and got drafted 18th. Right? What are we doing?
When did Mark Sanchez get drafted?
1st round, like 7th pick or something.
Yeah, I mean, there's also been tons of bad quarterbacks that have gone in the 1st round.
Mark Sanchez was drafted.
It's like 5th or so, wasn't he?
5th overall in 2009.
Bang.
To the Jets.
I mean, my brain still does work.
Wow. All right, so I guess let's get into the fun. Let's talk wrestling manias. Where do you want to start? We want to start at the end, or we want to start at the beginning?
I want to start in a place that I have to start.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
It was really weird watching that on TV and not being there. It just was weird. Like there's no other word for it. I wasn't upset. I wasn't sad. I was just like, oh yeah, I'm at home, aren't I? Like there was just this moment of like, oh, I'm not around all these people at this exact moment. This is kind of weird. And then I moved past it. It was fine. I'd argue that, and I think I even texted this to the group chat during the show. If we had been there, I would not have been able to tell you who was Charlotte Flair and who was Tiffany Stratton that entire match.
I told
wherever we were sitting, I'd have been like, nope. One of these things is exactly like the other.
I told you the way to figure it out.
If you think my eyes work well enough from the 200 sections to be able to tell which one of those bitches was wearing a knee brace.
Yes, because
you are impressive about my eyes.
Because it was bedazzled. The glitter would have fucking gotten your eyes.
Well, I'm gay, so like 3/4 of everything I see is bedazzled.
Okay, then.
It's like a filter.
Guess what?
So like your eyes don't automatically go to it. Like you don't even see it when it's
there.
No,
that would have been the last thing I noticed.
So your eyes are accustomed to it. It's not really a filter.
Yeah, fair. There you go.
There we go.
Filter is like something we put on our phone to make ourselves.
I like how they keep showing Lambeau Field and it's just completely fucking empty now because it's 11:30 at night.
They're like, should we have done this in a different place, maybe?
Or maybe just don't make the NFL draft 7 hours long for the first night. Maybe that. Those people have been out there for hours. Like, just let them
Hours
go.
before, hours after.
Yeah, like, good Lord. Speaking of hours after, the fucking herds of people
I
on
knew
the,
this was coming.
on the sidewalks of Las Vegas. Oh my God.
This
That
okay.
would have been the end of me, man. That would have been it. I would
So
have.
this is, and I had this qualm and fear going into this, specifically because of Joe being as short as he is. I felt like I would have lost him.
Yeah.
So Las Vegas is not aesthetically built for a major sporting event like this, because you gotta walk, you gotta Uber, you gotta do like there ain't a lot
Yeah,
of places to park.
One, and even like if you're staying in Vegas, like you have to like you're not. There's no like if you look at the shots of the outside of the stadium, there's no parking lots there.
That's what I was getting to. Was like,
Yeah.
you're walking or Ubering or whatever to everything that you're doing.
Oh, it just, oh my God. Like it looked awful. Like it looked like that person that got hit by the golf cart, that would have been me jumping in front of a bus. Like, just I don't want to be in this
Put
crowd.
me out of my misery.
I would have been the last person out of the stadium. They
Oh,
would
yeah.
have had they would have had to force me out, and then I would have stood by the door for 40 minutes. Like, I just don't want to move into that crowd at all.
Yeah, not. It really, truly, from the videos I saw, reminded me of the first year in New Orleans.
Oh God.
Yeah, that's the vibe that I got too.
Year 2 or the second time we went, substantially better.
Yes.
I'm kind of hoping that if they ever go back to Allegiant Stadium,
they'll figure out a better way.
Well, you got to also remember, this is really security's first big rodeo and something that isn't football driven.
Right.
This is a learning curve for them as well.
Sure.
That's kind of what I'm hoping gets taken out of this is in 5 or 10 years, if we want to come back to Vegas, hopefully the staffing at Allegiant Stadium is a little bit more queued up for this. We have a better way of getting people from point A to point B, whether it's talking to resorts and getting fucking big ass charter buses and charter busing people from hotel to WrestleMania and back. Maybe that's the play.
Yeah, and I don't think there's any doubt that they'll be back there. I mean, by all accounts, it was a overwhelming success.
I would say that it was successful, overwhelming success. I don't know that I would agree because I think what's going to happen in New Orleans is going to be exactly because of what happened this year.
Well, when I say overwhelming success, I don't mean from a like booking and like a fan review perspective. I mean from a business perspective. They sold 61,000 and 63,000 tickets. Every seat looked filled. The stage was great. The people sitting on and on top of the stage looked great. Like it looked like a full WrestleMania. So like they will be back in Vegas at some point.
I'd argue that I said this to Mike earlier today. I thought I saw a decent amount of empty seats on at least night one. Like not a ton of empty seats. Like it wasn't the most noticeable thing from the wide shots, but when they would like span over the crowd specifically, and who knows, maybe that was like people going to the bathroom or something like that at those exact moments. But I noticed a decent number of there's nobody sitting there.
Yeah, if it was during the Jade match or the El Grande match, they were in the bathroom.
You also have to remember. You're running on West Coast time. LA, everybody was fashionably late to 39. You showed up and watched the first couple matches. You were like, damn, we could have gotten seats over there. We could actually just walk over to those seats. Next thing you know, 5 minutes later, the place looks like it doubled the amount of people that were there.
Right.
There are people that are showing up late, people that are showing up after the show has already started because they're like, I don't really give a shit except for anything except for Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins versus CM Punk on night one. That's a real thing. I mean, look at what happens in UFC cards in Las Vegas and boxing matches in Las Vegas. You turn on a pre-show of a boxing fight and you're like, damn, there are 7 people in this fucking arena total. And it's the co-main event. All of a sudden,
two of them are in the ring.
Yeah, then all of a sudden you start hearing the walkout music for insert fighter here. And next thing you know, you're like, how the fuck did 45,000 people just show up?
There's also like 47 hours between the undercard and the main event of those boxing and UFC things.
I'm just saying, I've seen boxing cards where you look up and it's the first match of the pay-per-view and it's a 4-match pay-per-view card. And you're like, there are 9 people in the stands.
Oh, for sure.
And you get to the main event, there's 49,000. You're like, where the fuck did you all come from? Because they're so used to running on that Las Vegas time. Everything starts at 8 o'clock local time, aka 11 o'clock East Coast time. It didn't run that way with WrestleMania. I guarantee there's a lot of locals that completely forgot that show started at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so that's another thing that you got to figure out. That's another hurdle that you have to figure out. But where I was saying the success and the not successful thing, rumor has it they're already talking about potentially getting rid of NXT on Tuesday night from New Orleans. They're talking about scrapping some other pieces that they had going on because they finally figured out that by the end of night 2 of WrestleMania and Monday Night Raw, that crowd is fucking
exhausted,
torched.
I mean, it also doesn't help to be in like the party city of the country. So,
and they're running it back in New Orleans next year.
Right. But like, you know what I mean? Yeah, you're in like if you roll in on say like Thursday, you know, you're going to go out to dinner and go to the casino, and then Friday SmackDown, and then maybe the Hall of Fame, and then you got NXT, and then you got WrestleMania, then you got WWE After Dark, and then you got, well, I might as well stop in a casino on the way back to my room because I'm already pretty fucking wired. Well, then you got to get up for Mania Night 2 again, and then you got to go, you know what I mean? Like it just, yeah, it sounds exhausting.
I'm going to tell you right now, there's a 0.0% chance that I will ever do the Hall of Fame if they do it the way that they did it this year. Ever. Because those 6 hours of sleep or 6 hours of doing something else in a city that I've never been in, or eating or being at the casino to kill that time so I could be asleep by the time everybody else is getting out of Hall of Fame, perfect. Works for me.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I watched the Hall of Fame on Saturday because I was doing stuff around the house and I was just able to have it on in the background. So I like that it was back in the theater and stuff like that, but like I'll never go to it live. If you're gonna put 4 hours between or 3 hours between SmackDown and the Hall of Fame, I'm out, bro.
Pass.
Let me put it like this, okay? I don't remember what year it was, but there was one year where we did the midnight $5 wrestling show.
That was WrestleMania 28 in beautiful Secaucus, New Jersey.
Okay, so all I remember is we went to an indie show. It ended at like 11.
Ooh,
we stuck around.
Was that Miami or was that?
I think it was Miami, to be honest.
No, we did it both years. Miami,
Okay.
Miami. There's a story behind Miami.
One of them, I fell asleep 5 minutes into that damn thing.
So Miami, the story is he's still a dick.
Oh yeah.
Because that's where that story happened. We were getting ready to go.
Whichever one I'm remembering, I just remember falling asleep like 5 minutes into that damn show at like midnight. All I'm saying is, and that was actually going to be entertaining.
It was.
I have
hilarious.
no chance of staying awake at a 1 a.m. Hall of Fame.
I laughed my ass off at that $5 wrestling show. It was fantastic. I just looked over. I looked over, saw that you were asleep, and I was like, all right, I'm just going to fucking laugh my ass off for the next 45 minutes. I'm pretty sure it was the year from New York, New Jersey, because I'm pretty sure when we went with all of us, I think all of us went to the one in Miami.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure you probably would have stayed awake when it was all of us, because it was the entire British crew was there.
All I know is I fell asleep on Colt Cabana like I was his prom date.
Straight out of the Shy. It's the Joe Lopez.
Exactly.
So, all right, let's talk about the actual show. Let's get into it. Do we want to start with Cena, or do we want to start with something else? Do we want to start at the beginning of the show? Do we just want to run through pros of night one, cons of night one?
I'll let you call it. What do you want to talk about first? Do we want to kind of get everything else out of the way and then talk the big things, or do we want to start with the big things? And then if we don't get to talk about the little things, we don't talk about them.
4 letters, 1 word. Yeet. I mean,
Okay, wait. I got a question. What do you guys think is the biggest thing to come out of WrestleMania this year?
Ooh,
If you had to pick one thing.
it's not all about the bloodline anymore.
Okay. Interesting.
Like when you look at the ironically the opening of night one is about a guy who's doesn't wear red, doesn't I mean, I know Jimmy came out and celebrated with him, but like he's not around Roman, he's not around Solo, he's not around Jacob or any of them. The end of night one was Seth Rollins standing over Roman and Punk with the wise man now fully, in his corner. Night two, the big open were the women. There's no bloodline. The end of night two was John Cena beating Cody Rhodes. And the final boss wasn't even there. No goosebumps. No
good.
No bloodline rules. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so the bloodline, which has become such a staple over the last 3 to 4 years, was nowhere to be seen on WrestleMania. And then even Raw after Mania, you have Paul Heyman's newest faction standing tall again over Roman. Like it really it for the first time it felt like something really, really different. Like I understand Cody won last night, but it was everything about last year was still centered on the bloodline. This year actually felt different.
What's interesting about that too is I definitely think we're obviously leading somewhere where Roman is going to be feuding with Paul Heyman's new group. I don't foresee if Roman has to bring together his own team to fight Paul Heyman's team that it'll be OG Bloodline again, like it was when he was fighting Solo and that Bloodline. Like I don't think this will go in the direction necessarily where Roman's pulling in Sammy and pulling in Jay. And, I think if anything, he's teaming with Punk and he's teaming with whoever else,
He's not calling in the Thunderbolts. He's calling in the Avengers.
Yeah, that's valid. Like Cody is more likely to get involved.
He's calling Cody. He's calling Phil. He's calling Randy. He's calling the heavy artilleries. He's calling Captain America, the Hulk. Fucking, he's not going for the Thunderbolts. Like, I appreciate what Sammy and them have done. I appreciate what Jay's done. I appreciated what Jimmy's done. Jacob, Solo, all those guys. He ain't calling them if he's got to go to war with Paul Heyman, because Paul Heyman knows everything about the people that we've talked about.
So here's an interesting, I think, question also for you guys. I feel like a lot of the prediction going into this past weekend was basically what was going to happen at the end of night one is what happened at the end of night one.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd say almost everyone thought that what happened at the end of night two was going to happen at the end of night two, but was going to be tied into what happened at the end of night one. That you were going to get Heyman and Rollins involved, or at least The Rock involved, something. How do you guys feel about the fact that they've decided to not tie these two stories together? That you have a very clear main story A and main story B. You have the John Cena farewell tour, which, by the way, I need him to just have the countdown of how many days he has left going every
I love it.
time. That needs to be part of his entrance on a weekly or a 27-day basis going forward. But like they clearly did not tie these things together. John Cena is a heel and the world champion. That is one storyline. Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker are making this new team. That's a different storyline. Everyone thought they were coming together. How do you guys feel about that? They're not coming together.
Mike,
If you want to go first, feel free.
I was not happy about it on Sunday night. I'll say that because, and admittedly, and I said this on Tuesday's 3CT when we kind of wrapped up the weekend. I did the thing that I'm very critical of a lot of wrestling fans of doing, and that's you fantasy book something in your head, and then you almost expect it to happen. Now, the one thing I didn't do is I didn't blame the WWE for lying to me. That's where I really have a problem with a lot of wrestling fans. They'll be like, WWE told me The Rock was showing up on Sunday and that Seth Rollins was going to come out, and so was Paul Heyman. No, they didn't. Now, again, I fell into the trap where, like, because I was watching with Tim and Marcus, and when you had the Heyman double turn, Rollins wins, like, we start to play that game of like, well, man, like, this could be really cool. And we start doing the thing like it could be the new corporation type thing because Rock's on the board and it's the big deal. And he could make the match tomorrow night, no DQ. And then these guys could help him win. And then Rollins runs Raw and Cena runs SmackDown and Heyman's the liaison between the two because Rock's not going to show up very often. And then you can add a couple more pieces. Maybe it's Drew McIntyre. Maybe it's somebody younger. So you start to create these things. And then when all you get is Travis Scott, you kind of get let down a little bit. But I thought WWE did a really, really good job on Monday to make me care about, the Colossal Connection or whatever the fuck Heyman's old faction is. You got the new one now. Like they made me care about Heyman and Rollins and Braun Breaker as a group and what they're going to do with that. Like, I wasn't thinking about John Cena and The Rock when Braun Breaker fucking spears Roman Reigns. So I think and again, I talked last week when we were previewing things that like this was a very much about this was a Mania that was set up to be about what happens after. And I think WWE, we've only had one opportunity so far. We get another one tomorrow night on SmackDown. But in their one opportunity to tell us what happens after Mania, I thought they did a really, really good job for 3 hours on a Monday night.
Yeah. Obviously, I fantasy booked right along with you on the show Thursday night that it would be a commingling. And then the days became a little bit more, and I was just like, man, I don't know that actually really makes a lot of sense. And then John Cena drove the point home with the hammer and nail during his promo. He's only got 27 appearances left. Him being part of this Paul Heyman group, or the Paul Heyman group being a part of this Rock thing, makes zero sense. Because you're not wasting John Cena appearances in Poughkeepsie, New York. No offense to the fine people of Poughkeepsie.
Great people.
He ain't coming. So what do? You build the anti-establishment to be on Monday Night Raw because Friday Night SmackDown is going to be who's going to inevitably face John Cena next. Obviously, we got a little bit of a spoiler alert there with old Randy hitting him with an RKO, which setting up the next one. But coming out of WrestleMania, there's two things that we talked about. Heel Seth Rollins with Paul Heyman. And what's next for John Cena in arguably his worst WrestleMania match? Guess what? Mission accomplished. That match wasn't supposed to be good. John Cena has told every person since Elimination Chamber that he is here to kill professional wrestling. He's not here to have good matches. He's here to get back his pound of flesh for everybody that wanted him to go out there and wrestle hurt and wrestle with his arm taped up and torn biceps and broken arms and torn ACLs. That every time he came back, they gave him the woo. And then 5 minutes into his first match back, they started booing him because they remembered that he was John fucking Cena. He's not supposed to be the hero. He's not supposed to have 5-star matches right now. He's supposed to win championships and cash checks. And guess what? That's what he's doing. We've just been so used to Big Match John. Well, guess what? You got Big Match John at WrestleMania 41. Big Match John walked out with the world title. He just didn't do it in the way that you're used to him doing it.
That's a good point.
Deal with it.
I didn't even think it was that bad of a match, personally. Like, I know everyone's kind of said it's one of the worst main events ever. I don't think so. Like, I don't think it was incredible. It certainly wasn't either of the Cody Roman matches or, you know, we've been spoiled over the last few years. But I thought it was a perfectly, I think you're right. It was the match that it needed to be. It was that version of the John Cena character who's going to work slower, who's going to, I mean, you know, like all of that made sense. Have you never watched a Ric Flair world title match? Like this is how he made his bread and butter and like 5 of his children back in the 1980s. You know, it was obvious that Cena was doing that, you know, and I thought he made it work. Like, if anything, the only part of the match that kind of sucked was the whole Travis Scott part because, number one, everyone was expecting The Rock at that point. If you're going to have someone like, it almost would have been better off if they had nobody come out at that point. And I get it. You can make the argument of like, oh, they were trolling even further by having Travis Scott be there. I'm sure there's a real world possibility where Travis Scott might wrestle Cody Rhodes at some point during this next calendar year in WWE. I mean, he's literally one of the biggest music stars on the planet. So like that wouldn't surprise me being a SummerSlam main event or something like that. You want to keep Cody away from the world title. You still want to give him a major thing. Travis has apparently been training at the Performance Center. So like that could easily be a thing that they set up here at WrestleMania. But like, again, I think if nobody came out, maybe it doesn't even get as bad a reaction. But it gets such a bad reaction because it's not The Rock, and everyone was expecting that. And then on top of that, Travis Scott kind of isn't the greatest at whatever he's doing right now in pro wrestling. So like that all, and he took forever to get to the ring. That all was kind of disappointing. I see the story they're telling. I feel like in a year and a half to 2 years when Cody Rhodes turns heel, we're all going to look back at that moment during the Cena match where he could have won if he just wasn't a good guy, you know? Like they set up things here, so I'm not mad at it.
Well,
yeah, I mean, like the match itself, I was fine with the match itself until Travis Scott's music hit. Like like the match itself was really fine, and I thought they were really, you know, cooking a good old feeling wrestling match. Like I really felt like I was watching an older wrestling match. Like you have with you know some of John's greatest hits sprinkled in. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, until the Travis, and then nothing felt urgent. It felt sloppy. It felt disorganized. And I think that's where the bad taste comes. But yeah, I mean, coming out of it, like I'm very interested to see what Cody Rhodes looks like coming out of this, because we've seen everything from the return to last Mania was about finishing the story, and then for the last year it was, I'm defending the title my daddy never won. So now what? Because you did what you set out to do and you defended it for a year. And, now what? Do you let what happened to you turn you bitter? Do you help it refocus? What do you refocus on? Like, I think and again, it's that what happens after WrestleMania. What happens after WrestleMania with Cody Rhodes is maybe just as intriguing as anything else in this company.
First off, I don't think you see Cody Rhodes for a little while.
I don't think you should. Yeah.
I'm cool with him taking until Backlash off. That being said, to finish the Travis Scott Rock conversation, personally, I don't think The Rock should have ever have been here. I think The Rock takes away from this match, because the fact of the matter is guess what? I don't care if he's final boss. I just ran over Steve Austin with my car. It doesn't matter. You hear "If You Smell," that crowd's going to cheer. He's aligned with the guy who's trying to kill professional wrestling right now. That guy doesn't need cheers. That guy needs boos. What gets you boos? Travis Scott. Travis Scott played the role of the heater. How do we make sure that John Cena gets booed out of the building when he holds up world title number 17? Have fucking Travis Scott with that idiotic fucking make-ass hardcore title fucking that they made specifically for him. And oh my God, they're fucking, this motherfucker, really? God, another fucking actor, another fucking musician that's coming in and taking a spot from Karrion Kross or, whoever else. Like, fuck that guy. Boo, 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 boo. Oh shit, it worked. Personally, I wouldn't have had anybody get involved. I would have just had Cena hit Cody with the belt and fucking win the title that way. That's
right.
my person.
Ref gets knocked down. He goes out and gets the belt.
Blasts him in the head.
Cheats to win. He's already a heel.
That's what I'm saying. The Travis Scott thing truly felt like they were like, man, there's a shot that if John pins this motherfucker, he's gonna get cheered, and that's the last thing we want right now.
So they were trying to avoid trying to avoid Rock Hogan.
Correct. And if that's the case, that makes perfect sense. I don't love it, but it makes sense. I can live with it.
Right. We'll get the explanation on what happened when 15 years from now.
Exactly. On Something to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard 2.5.
You might get the explanation in like 6 weeks on Netflix.
I'm interested with that, and we'll get to that in a few minutes. I have my things coming out of this. Like, obviously, to me, the biggest thing is this Paul Heyman alliance. I think that's bigger than the Cena stuff. The Cena stuff felt like a foregone conclusion. I think what the fun is, fantasy booking the next 27 dates for John Cena. I think that's a lot of fun. I think figuring out who he's going to wrestle, who he's going to fight for the title, who he's going to defend the title against, who he inevitably is going to lose the title to, his final match, things along those lines, which I have a pretty hot take one, which we'll get to here probably in a few minutes. But I want to go back to this new dangerous alliance, and that's what I'm going to call it. Seen something on Twitter. Okay, cool. You have the first two members. You have the Rick Rude. You have the Arn Anderson. Who else is coming? And I know a lot of people have said there's got to be a female. And everyone keeps going, well, it's just going to be Becky because she just turned on Lyra. No. Better yet, fuck no. P for pass. I'm good. Let Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch have a feud for the Intercontinental title. It'll probably be a fucking banger. Becky will probably be the second or third Intercontinental Champion. She'll do great things with that belt. It'll be on the level of a World Heavyweight title by the end of the year. I'm okay with that. But Becky Lynch cannot be the woman of this roster, of this group. It's got to be someone else. It's got to be that piece. I'm going to say it. I'll throw it out there. It might be from NXT. It might be from the main roster. Personally, I'd bring Julia up and just put Julia with him. If you're not going to put Julia, I don't want it to be Becky. Put Zoe Starks there.
Yeah, I don't want it to be Becky because the problem with Becky Lynch is like your top heaters almost start fighting with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't. It's what happens when Farouk and The Rock both want to be leader. You know what I mean? Like,
yep.
And I think if you do that, it takes a lot of the heat off of Seth Rollins, and you do not want that. This man, Seth Rollins is so good when he's on this type of character. You don't want to take any of that heat away from him right now. So yeah, I do not want it to be Becky. I do not. Julie is an interesting call for sure. I don't want it to be Zoe because I don't like her.
I need it to be someone. If they're gonna go with somebody on the main roster, I need it to be like the ass kicker. Whether it's Shayna Baszler, Zoe Starks, there ain't a lot of other options that fit that role.
That's fair.
On the roster right now. If you're looking at the current roster,
I got one for you, but it's pretty off the beaten path.
Is it a returning Asuka?
No, but I like that.
You're welcome.
Well, I'm thinking of someone who definitely can kick someone's ass.
Dear God, if you say Ronda Rousey, I'm getting off of this show.
No. They're signed with the company currently.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, we're about to have a real quick show, boys.
No. Very much different person. So they're built like a fucking shit brick house. They can kick anyone's ass if they really wanted to. They probably shouldn't cut a promo, so having Seth and Paul there is good. I'm talking about Jade Cargill.
Oh. Okay. I thought you were thinking Jordan Grace.
That's another one.
Well, she's another one. Yeah, she's a good option too.
Like Trick Shithouse shouldn't cut a promo.
I think what's interesting about Jade is she's big enough where she can be the China of the group. That's how she comes off.
Yeah, no, you're right. Oh, man.
Standing in the back with her hands folded, looking at you like, try it.
That's real good. That's real good. Damn, that's really good.
Mm-hmm.
I like that a lot.
Yeah, I think that's a great one. I think, like I said, I think there's some people around. I mean, but who else gets added? Because it's not just going to be the two of them and a singular other female. Like, are we adding a tag team to this? Are we adding two more singles?
Honestly, this wouldn't be a bad place to rebuild Finn Balor either.
I think Finn needs to go be Finn for a little while. I think bouncing from one faction to another is
fair.
Not the route to go for Finn Balor.
Did the Dangerous Alliance have a tag team?
Yes. It was Bobby and Arn, I think.
So like
that sounds
probably
right.
Be a tag team in here.
The Dangerous Alliance consisted of WCW members were Paul E. Dangerously, Arn Anderson, Bobby Eaton, Larry Zbyszko, Rick Rude, and Steve Austin, with Medusa and Michael P.S. Hayes also as manager / valet, and then obviously Paulie was the leader. It was Anderson and Bobby. Zbyszko was fighting for like the TV title, and Rude was the world champion, or the draw for the world title, I should say. He never won the world title, but you get my point.
A-Town Down Under.
I have a suggestion.
Okay.
They're currently in a faction, but they're not really doing anything with that faction because one of them's currently wearing a mask.
The Creeds.
Yep.
I don't hate that.
I
don't hate that at all.
Give me 2 big brick shit houses to put with Braun Breaker to be the muscle.
Yeah, I like that.
You know, if you're not in on that, go over to the SmackDown side. You have 5 really good tag teams over there right now. DIY,
yeah,
Street Profits.
And any single one of them could use kind of freshening up also. So
I will say hard pass on the Motor City Machine Guns being the team that goes with them.
Agreed.
Just because I think they need to stay as the faces on it right now. But yeah,
I do. So I also agree with you. I think that my biggest takeout for the weekend was the Heyman, Rollins, all that. Because I think, and you hit on this, like, it's the thing about it too is this is going to carry us to WrestleMania next year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you ask me to start guessing the WrestleMania card for next year for 42, I'm putting Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns in a singles match on there. I think that's one of your main events. I don't know if there's a title on the line. I think it might end up being the first time they've ever fought in a singles match at WrestleMania against each other. I don't think it'll end up being the last time they do. I think these guys, this is your Rock Austin of this generation. This is your Hogan Savage of this generation. Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, like the history that they have, and it's crazy to think that it's already like a 10+ year history at this point. And we're just now getting to them in the main event against each other at a WrestleMania, 1-on-1. You know, and I think we're gonna have a year of getting there. I don't think those two face each other in a singles match before WrestleMania next year. I think there's a reason why you have groups forming. There's a reason why you've got Braun Breaker. There's a reason why you've got CM Punk in the picture and all of that. Like, I think that they're gonna keep these guys away from each other in singles capacity. And we're going to get there at Mania. And the thing is, like you said, like, look, Cena's got 27 more days. He's not going to be here at WrestleMania next year. There isn't a year-long storyline for that. This is going to wrap up in December. Rollins and Reigns, God willing, are going to be here next year at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with that assessment. I do think inevitably that will be a WrestleMania match. I think there will be a title on the line. It'll probably be the title that's currently held by Jey Uso, because I think Seth Rollins and this new Dangerous Alliance will be the one that takes the title off of him at some point. When that is, to be determined. Who it is, to be determined. Obviously, it should be Seth Rollins, but I wouldn't be surprised if they give it to Braun Breaker. That guy keeps fucking spearing people the way that he is.
Speaking of Jey Uso, can we talk about
fire for me? Are you asking just me, Uso? Yeet. Hell yeah, I love it. Fire. Internet, I don't know what it is. Soak it in, because this is it right here. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but hell yeah. 2-time world shockers. I'm damn near world heavyweight champ. Yo. Next, I'm in Vegas. That's all I'm saying. I'm in Vegas. Love.
my man? Damn.
This is the first time I've heard that.
It's so good.
he is sitting there with the world title and says,
Hammered.
damn near world champion.
He
Hammered.
he started borderline doing the insane
Hell
clown
yeah,
posse
look.
thing. He was like, "Fire! How does that work?"
Like,
Fire. Internet. I don't know what it is. Because this is it right here. You know what I'm saying?
like, what accent is
I
that?
don't know. But hell yeah.
He don't know.
Well, Chakos. I'm damn near world heavyweight champ. Yo. Next, I'm in Vegas.
Next news.
Like my man was gone.
Well, I said this to you in our private conversation because we were talking about the press conference, and I go, all right, note to self: don't let the world heavyweight champion start getting hammered at 4:45 local time,
Yeah,
and bring him to the podium at 10 o'clock and be like, hey, can you put together 3 coherent sentences for me? No, probably not.
Yeah, probably not. Probably not.
Fire!
Fire.
Fire.
I don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is.
It's so good. Oh God, I loved it. I loved every part of it. You know, and real quick going through the matches, like obviously that match on paper, a lot of people didn't like it. I've read some reviews of it. I've watched it twice. The guy that I watch a lot, Santi Zap, makes a perfect assessment of this match. The best singles match of Jey Uso's career. Just another Gunther match.
I don't know that I agree with that because I do feel like maybe Jay's had a better singles match or two, but I'm also hard pressed to name one off the top of my head. So,
I mean, I don't necessarily know what other matches he's had as a singles competitor that I'm like, yep, that's the one. You know, Drew McIntyre on the first episode of Raw on Netflix, maybe.
You know, here's what's interesting about Jay in that regard. Because, like, Big Match John, right? That's John Cena. And he got that nickname because main event time, he showed up. He put on these incredible singles matches. You could say maybe it was the people he was dancing with, but he would always give you these like 4.5 star matches out of a guy that most of us thought wasn't capable of getting above those 3 stars, right? I feel like if you think back on all of the big Jey Uso singles matches so far, most of them are left with, yeah, that was okay. You know what I mean? Like, think about it. Think of all the really big Jey Uso singles matches. The SummerSlam match against Reigns, that was not good. The singles match against his brother last year at WrestleMania, that was not good. The Gunther match was good. Like, it was at the very least a good match. So, like, yeah, you're right. Like, it definitely stands out above the pack. Like, there might be some Drew McIntyre matches that he had last year or, like, early this year that were pretty good. And maybe some of the Gunther Saturday Night's main event. Like those were good matches. But there's not a lot when, like, it's almost like when it's the most important, he doesn't necessarily step up, or like, and the match just doesn't deliver. Unfortunately, I love Jey Uso.
Yeah. So here's we were talking about it when we were watching it live. One of the guys I was watching it with said he thought it looked like Jay was like favoring his right arm, right hand, something as soon as he even got into the ring. And thought, did he yeet and did he pull a Sami Zayn? Did he yeet and hurt himself? Remember when Sami Zayn like
The US Open
his shoulder,
Challenge,
giving a like one of these guys.
He hit the stairs to do his "Let's Go" and pow,
kapow.
Yep.
My favorite is when Randy Orton broke his arm, like just doing the doing the RKO taunt,
like pow, snap.
You know, so but then Tim and I were thinking it through further, and Tim was the first one to point out that he thinks it was an adrenaline dump. To where, and Rollins talked about having something like this, where he almost passed out at the start of 35 when he hit the stage. Because like for Jay, you know, he knows he's winning. He's opening up the card. The whole family's there. Like, biggest singles match of his life. Like, all of this stuff, man, like is like on his back. And then you gotta do the entrance from the crowd and all of that. And like that's a lot of emotion and this and that, so that like you basically like peak and then you end up like crashing. So like the early portion of that match, like you're looking at a guy that's like barely upright. So like was it the greatest opening match in WrestleMania history? No. But it wasn't a bad match by any stretch. And then because like once the match was over, he was fine. So that's why, again, I think it lends to an adrenaline dump versus anything else.
Second match, the New Day defeated the Clash of the War Kingdom Raiders things.
The only thing I can say about this match, the right team won, and the War Daddies are cooked.
It's a match that happened.
All right. In a match that had more build than definitely the fucking War Kingdom match, Jade Cargill over Naomi in 9 minutes. Good fun.
Thank God Naomi was there. Naomi is fantastic. I don't understand how somebody who's been wrestling for 5.5 years is still green. And maybe it's just repetition or something. I don't. They got to figure it out, because you know you don't have the safety net of Naomi and Jade, or Naomi and Bianca anymore, and you don't have 90-pound 4-foot tall wrestlers that Jade can just woman handle like she did in AEW. You have women wrestlers. You got to figure it out, because she's not ready to be a woman's wrestler in WWE right now.
The tag match was 7th out of night one's matches. Jey Uso, Gunther 6th. This match was the number 5 ranked match according to Cage Match on their ranking scales.
I felt like my biggest thing with this match was when it was over, I felt like, okay, now what? You know, like there's no
continuation of this.
Huh?
There can be no continuation of this. She has to move
like
on
this is done. It almost felt done before the match at Mania even happened. Like the storyline the last few weeks was kind of weird. So it was already like, okay, we're just gonna get through this and it's over. If Naomi had won, maybe there's still room to tell some more story. But Naomi was never going to win. Jade was never going to lose her WrestleMania debut. It's just not what was going to happen.
Singles debut.
And singles debut. I didn't even realize that.
It was her second WrestleMania match.
Hurt. So, like, she wasn't going to lose. Like, that just wasn't going to happen. And by the end of this weekend, Bianca's still a face. She didn't turn heel.
Yet.
Well, yeah, I guess we can see what happens tomorrow night. If that's something that happens, then yeah, you've got some direction for at least Jade to go in. I don't know what you do with Naomi from here. Naomi's character right now is someone who turned on her friend, beat up her other friend, and then got her ass kicked like 8 times because of it. Like that's not an impressive character. I don't know what you do with that person. Even if you send her to Raw or NXT or something, you still have to start from scratch almost with her. Like, you have to make her legitimate again. Right now, she's not legitimate. She's not. How often do you think of Naomi and remember that she's a former world champion?
Funk is on a roll.
Yeah.
I remember more as a Funkadactyl than a women's champion.
Valid.
Yeah, the women's title run was extremely short.
Next up, the second rated match on Cage Match for night number 1. It is the U.S. title match, LA Knight versus Jakob Fatu. That werewolf's a big flying son of a bitch, and you know what? Fuck it, put the world title on him right now. Fuck it, I don't care.
That's a bad man, dude. The fact that, like, I think he said in an interview after that he's only scratching the surface is terrifying.
Gnarly BFT out of the moonsault too, by the way.
LA Knight's a pro. We know LA Knight's a pro. A great fodder to Jacob's first Mania match, first big win. I'm glad they didn't do like any solo turn stuff. There's plenty of time to tell that story. This was Jacob's moment, and
also really glad this wasn't a squash. LA Knight got offense. You know,
yeah,
I know we were kind of like he should just run right through him, but it saved LA Knight with him being at least competitive in the match.
Yeah, and it was a good match. It was a really good match.
Next up was the 5th ranked match. No, 4th. El Grande Americano defeated the filling in Rey Fenix for Rey Mysterio, who was injured on Friday Night SmackDown. The
Do
AI
we think that's legit?
Yes.
Yeah, it's legit.
So you don't think Rey Fenix was always going to end up on this show?
No, I don't.
Okay.
No, I don't.
Especially eating a pin.
Yeah, if Rey Fenix was coming onto this show like in 2.5 weeks after debuting, I feel like he'd be going over.
Fair.
Same with I felt like Penta was going to go over if it was a singles match. The only reason why he didn't go over is because of their decision to do what they did with the Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Right.
Here's my issue with this one real quick is I think for a multitude of reasons what they did on Friday night is what should have been the match on WrestleMania.
Like the 6-man tag?
When you have the little confrontation in the back, you should have had Nick Aldis make the match El Grande and the Creeds versus Dragon and the Rays. Because first off, you can avoid Rey Mysterio busting his knee out on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Secondly, you avoid the problem of, okay, well, now Rey Fenix has already eaten his first pin to a white dude in a mask in 750. Like
El Grande Americano.
Like, and do I think that it would have been a 7-minute El Grande win over Rey? Maybe. But like, I also think there could have been something different that happens if Rey Mysterio's in the match. And how much further are we going with Chad Gable in a mask as well? Like, it just, man, it.
Personally, save it for the AAA show.
Well, you might as well now.
Him versus Vikingo, hair versus mask.
Yeah, you might as well now.
Might as well. I mean, honestly, I enjoyed the CGI AI voiceover of him talking over the video package. I thought that was fucking hilarious. I laughed really hard.
The video package was pure gold.
So good. Him coming out to the mariachi band with all wearing the Grande Americano mask. Perfect. Loved it. And honestly, I think he had a better match with Rey Fenix than he would have with Rey Mysterio.
I agree with that. It was a really good match, honestly.
No offense to Rey Mysterio, but 48-year-old Rey Mysterio is not 30-year-old Rey Fenix.
The match was infinitely better because Mysterio got hurt.
You know, so shout out both those guys. Great match. Co-main event was the 3rd highest ranked match on the show. It is Tiffy time. Tiffany Stratton retains over Charlotte Flair. This match went 19 minutes and 9 seconds. I will say my favorite part of it was Malibu Barbie Tiffany Stratton coming out of her Barbie Playhouse box.
The tide be rolling.
Yes.
I thought Tiffany seemed overwhelmed early. just by the moment.
You could tell that the moment and the emotion got to her at the start of that match. You could tell she had to take that step back and go, it's still professional wrestling.
Yeah, there was a point in the match where Charlotte kind of slapped her around a little bit, I think, just to get the adrenaline going in the right way. And after that, and that's where Charlotte Flair's a pro. Look, we can say we're tired of her in these big spots. We can, we can make jokes or boo Charlotte Flair all we want. She's a fucking pro. She's still one of the best to ever do it. And she got Tiffany on track in that match. It ended up being a really, really good match, possibly a little bit too long, maybe just because of the beginning kind of drug it out of the gate. But the really good match and the right person won. And I'm glad they had Tiffany go over.
Correct. I also said in the group chat that this was the most that Charlotte Flair looked like Charlotte Flair.
Yeah.
I don't know how she got less work done WrestleMania weekend, but this is the closest that she's looked like Charlotte Flair. I will say this concerning wise though, like while this is the best that she's looked, she looked really skinny.
Very much.
And I'm not one of those guys that like that's a alert for me or a red light, but like I don't know that I should be seeing Charlotte Flair's ribs.
Yeah, it was unsettling a little bit with and again, when you have a person who has changed her look significantly since the first time we've seen Charlotte Flair, and you see how her body has changed, and it is a little concerning. Personally, I mean, I hope it's just a matter of, she came off the knee injury and she's kind of changed her diet to make sure that, structurally
less weight to carry around on the knee.
Right, something like that, and that it's not something more concerning. Like, I hope it is that, and certainly as somebody who struggles with weight the other way, and I'm working on that. I'm in day 10 of like calorie counting and shit like that. So like, the body stuff, in a much different way is an issue with me. But yeah, like I hope it is just more of it's smarter to take more pressure off the knees, which have started breaking down, sort of a thing.
I concur. Joseph?
I love that match. I actually thought that match was fantastic. I wrote it on my best of list for looking back on at the end of the year. You're right. There's something about Charlotte. Like, every time she comes back around, I'm like, oh man, I don't want to watch Charlotte. And then she wrestles, and you're like, okay, yeah, I kind of like watching Charlotte. Like, at least in the ring as a performer, she always delivers. Her WrestleMania resume is becoming as quality as Seth Rollins or, Shawn Michaels or Undertaker.
Better quality than Randy Orton?
Much better.
Yeah.
I think if we revisit Mount Rushmore pro wrestler WrestleMania matches, Charlotte Flair's is a challenge. And there's only 5 or 6 matches to choose from. And it's still already a challenge.
Yeah.
Don't worry. You can just erase 35 off the list. I'm never putting Ronda Rousey on anybody else's mouth.
That's fair.
There's still 6 more options.
I mean, I'm probably putting 36 on there.
I'll put both of Rhea Ripley's matches.
Dude, that's going to be the hard thing. It's like, which one of those do you pick?
No, you put both. Fuck everybody.
Do you pick the one that gets you in trouble, or do you pick the other one?
It's always the one that gets you in trouble.
I thought that match was great. I'm so glad that. So, the funny thing is about this whole WrestleMania weekend, I felt like from Jey Uso, Gunther, up until this women's match, it was an okay WrestleMania. It was that was about Saturday night's main event quality. Yeah. Then you get to the women's match, and from here to basically through the first 2 or 3 matches of night 2, I think you have one of the most solid runs of WrestleManias that we've had. It's like banger after banger, to quote Sheamus.
All right, main event from night one, highest rated match on Cage Match, 8.8 out of 10. Seth Rollins over CM Punk with Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns, 32 minutes, 39 seconds, the time of the match.
This was a classic.
A+, 17 stars in the Tokyo Dome. It really, it was about, and I don't know if it's just because like it was that much better than everything else on this night's card or what, but my God, perfection from the entrances.
It's the way these guys tell their stories.
These are three of the absolute best. You can dislike CM Punk all you want as a person, or you know, for the things he's done in his career. You can dislike Roman Reigns for the Vanity Fair article last week. You can dislike Rollins because he wears goofy clothes. But these guys are three of the best. And man, like from the entrances, Rollins with the flamethrower and the costume change, and Roman Reigns coming out with the new gauntlet and boots, and CM Punk coming out to Living Color with the old sweatshirt and the pipe bomb gear. Like, just my God. And if you think about it, especially with like, you know, the heartbreak of him getting turned on by Paul Heyman, like that was the gear he wore when he sat on the stage and said, I'm a Paul Heyman guy. Like, just so many layers to it. And I think that's what made this story so special, is there were so many layers to this. And yeah, the match was perfect. The finish was perfect. It just, so good. So good. All timer. It will be on my Mount Rushmore top 5 matches of the year, whatever.
For sure.
All right, quickly to night 2. The highest rated match on night 2 was the opener. Io Sky retains against Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripples to retain the women's world title.
Speaking of matches, that'll be on my top matches of the year.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think the biggest thing for me with this one, I can't believe Io won in the happiest way possible. I can't believe that. Like, I love it. And I low-key felt a little salty for Asuka when they mentioned that's the first time a Japanese woman has won at WrestleMania, defending the title at the very least, or whatever caveat they had to it. I definitely was like, yeah, Asuka deserved that one like 6 years ago.
Yeah.
But I digress. I love the match. It was a great match. Everyone did a great job. I don't know. Everything worked perfectly with it. This is WWE right now has the most incredible women's division. Like, I hope Evolution ends up actually being a thing and we get that card. We get another all-women show, and
I kind of feel like we are. I really do.
I do too.
With
the quality is there.
Especially when you had, you know, Stephanie and Roxanne showing up on Raw this week.
Julia.
You know,
Julia was there too.
Julia showed up as well. That's right. Julia was there as well. You're integrating NXT talents onto Raw, interacting with the women's world champion. Like, they're laying the foundation for it. Nikki Bella said over the weekend that the Bella twins will be returning at some point. Like, gee, I wonder where would be a great place for that to happen.
Right.
Where they win the tag team titles.
Like, you know what I mean? So, like, yeah, I think all signs are pointing towards it, and absolutely should. And I think really the unfortunate thing about the first one is I don't think the roster was quite there yet to really have a great show.
Right.
It was a great event. It was awesome. It was cool. But like this one's gonna fucking slap.
Yeah, this one you have a roster that can have a 12-match show, and you're not like, wow, we really brought it back Eve Torres and Kelly to really fill the match, because
you don't have to rely on, and don't get me wrong, for the first one, Medusa should have been there. Eve Torres should have been there. Like the pieces that you know, walked so others could run should have been there.
Absolutely.
Now you have a marathon.
And because the thing too is, I remember for a very long time, I'd say almost up until the last like year or two, the division of talent in the women's division used to be like you had your 3, 4 at the top, and I mean in terms of like actual talent, like quality wise in ring, you'd have the like 4 or 5 women at the top who could go, and then it was a huge drop to that next level of women and what they could do in the ring. So you didn't have a lot of mix and match opportunity. Now, I mean, you can throw Liv Morgan in there with any one of them and have a banger of a fucking match. You know, you can Io Sky is part of the conversation now. You have Lyra Valkyria, you have Chelsea Green, like there's
Bacteria.
so many women, and I didn't even touch the NXT women. There's so
You're right. You didn't touch women.
no, not lately. It's been about a decade,
It's been a
and
while. Sorry.
like you have so many women at different places, like mid card, upper card, and all that, who quality wise can mix with any of the other women and give you an amazing match. And I think that's incredible. You know, there was a point a few years ago where you were either Becky, Charlotte, Bianca, Asuka, or Bailey, or you were everybody else. Now it's like you're those 5 people I mentioned, or you're Io, or you're who am I thinking? Lyra, or you're Chelsea, or you're Naya. I think she deserves to be in this conversation for the work she's done the last 2 years. You know, there's your Tiffy. Like, there's a lot of talent here right now.
So I actually just brought up the Evolution card. The first one, dark match. Rhea Ripley retained the UK title, defeating Dakota Kai. Trish Stratus and Lita defeated Mickie James and Alicia Fox.
To be fair, first year Hall about. Oh, wow, that's easy for me to say.
Halabash?
I'm feeling very Jay Uso right now.
Fire.
First Hall of Fame ballot. What is the phrase?
First ballot Hall of Fame.
That's the one. Alicia Fox.
Halibut.
Nia
Jax won a 20-woman battle royal that included Ember Moon, Peyton Royce, Billie Kay, Molly Holly, Kelly, Tori Wilson, Sonya Deville, Alundra Breeze, Maria Kanellis, Lana, Mandy Rose, Dana Brooke, Michelle McCool, Naomi, Carmella, Ivory, Asuka, Tamina, Zelina Vega. Toni Storm defeated Io Sky to win the Mae Young Classic. Look at where those two ladies are now. Sasha Banks, Bailey, and Natty defeated the Riot Squad of Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, and Sarah Logan. Shayna Baszler defeated Kairi Sane via submission to win the NXT Women's title. Becky Lynch retained the SmackDown Women's title, defeating Charlotte Flair in a last woman standing match. And Ronda Rousey beat Nikki Bella in a singles match via submission for the Raw Women's title. First off, Ronda Rousey better not main event this fucking edition of Evolution, or she can go fuck herself.
Yeah, I don't think we have to worry about that one.
Sorry, just wanted to let that one rip.
It's okay.
All right, back to WrestleMania night number 2. The third highest rated match of night number 2, the Sin City Street Fight, Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest. Good match. Guys beat the shit out of each other.
Sorry.
What?
I was pulling up some from 3 Count earlier, and it started playing.
Oh, I was like, okay.
No, Street Fight was really good. It was really good. Drew's great. Priest is, I think, height of powers right now. Like he's found his pocket.
Correct. They finally found the place to put him in.
Agreed.
Yeah, he's one of those wrestlers that when you put him in the ring with someone basically his same size, and it works. It works really well. Yeah, exactly. This is a great match. It really absolutely was. I count this in the matches that I was just saying, where it's like that 5-6 match run between night 1 and night 2, where it was just fucking on. It was everything was out of the park.
It really felt like WrestleMania during this run.
Yes, exactly.
The second highest rated match on night number 2 of WrestleMania was for the Intercontinental title.
Wow.
The new champion, Dominic Mysterio, he defeated Braun Breaker, Finn Balor, and Penta in 10 minutes and 30 seconds to win the Intercontinental title. What I will say here about this match, for a show that was as long as it was, and I want to do the quick math real quick while we're here. 17, 3, 10, 13, and 24 or 14. Okay. So there was 90 minutes worth of wrestling on night 2 of WrestleMania. The fact that this match had the third least amount of time is a fucking crime.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. And the finish worked perfect. And I know a lot of people are like, but it worked so perfect. Why would you add more time to it? Because there was still pieces of that match that could have grown to a hotter climax. The finish worked perfect. I'm not going to deny that.
Right.
But I had to sit through 17 minutes of Logan Paul and AJ Styles.
You know what's crazy too? And like, I hate to say this, but it's just reality. You turn this into a ladder match, and everyone's talking about this as one of the best matches of the weekend.
Facts.
Yeah.
You know, like that, all of a sudden, it's standing out. Everyone's remembering it. Dom could still win. He could throw Finn off the top at the last second. You could still basically tell the exact same story, but now you've got crazy ladder spots. And let's be honest, those men would have done some crazy ladder spots.
Well, and if you have a ladder match, then you don't basically have the same finish from
3 matches earlier.
From the women's triple threat.
True. Also true.
Yeah.
From 2 matches earlier.
Right.
Great match. Happy with the results. Fantastic. Love Dom as the IC champion. Pop of the night for me here. Randy Orton versus Joe Hendry.
Yes.
So much fun.
I love that was apparently Randy Orton's call also.
I love it. I love the fact that Randy made that decision. I love the fact that Joe was there. I love the entrance. I love that the cameras that I see on TikTok where people are like, oh, look, here's an alternate angle where like Randy's like kind of like swaying back and forth to the music. You can see that he was having a good time with it. The fucking Joe Hendry turn spot into the RKO.
Yes.
Fucking fantastic.
We
Loved
got 2 of the best RKO spots on back-to-back nights that we've had in years. Like,
fantastic.
Those are all-time legendary RKOs.
Fantastic.
2 nights in a row.
Loved it.
Yeah. So good.
3 minutes and 10 seconds. The best 3 minutes and 10 seconds you're gonna get.
Well, I tell my wife every weekend.
Unfortunately, that match was then followed by the second lowest ranked match on night number 2 of WrestleMania, Logan Paul versus AJ Styles. I will say this.
It stinks.
It sucked out loud. It sucked eggs. I'm out on Logan Paul. If I wasn't out on him before, I'm definitely out on him now. The best thing that came out of this match is the Karrion Kross promo that you guys talked about on the fucking show tonight.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best thing that came out of this.
Yeah, that was real good. If you haven't seen that, seek it out.
I love AJ. I love AJ to death. Not good.
Sunday was rough. AJ's this weird anomaly, like where we talk about, Charlotte Flair and Randy Orton, or not Randy, Shawn Michaels and Seth Rollins, and when they're booked on WrestleMania, it don't matter if it's a 2-minute match or a 30-minute match, it's going to be great. AJ Styles at WrestleMania has had a rough go.
Not great, Bob.
It's wild. Like his probably his best WrestleMania match was against Shane McMahon.
Shane McMahon.
Like, that's fucking wild. He's wrestled Nakamura. Now his match against Jericho was good, but like his match with LA Knight was decent last year, but kind of short.
The Boneyard match.
Oh yeah, I mean the Boneyard match
Stands on its own because it's cinematic.
Yeah, but like when you look at actual in-ring matches with AJ Styles at WrestleMania, most of them are mid to bad, and it's wild because I mean in his generation, he is Mount Rushmore level of like wrestlers worldwide. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer or whatever the hell Joe said it. But like he's he's a WWE Hall of Famer because of what he's done in WWE. It has nothing to do with what he's done outside.
Mm-hmm.
But like his WrestleManias have been rough. And it was like, yeah, it was just, man, it was that was a tough one. That one should have gotten 10. The Intercontinental should have gotten the 17.
I agree. The match that got the fourth highest ranking, the women's tag title match. Lyra Valkyria with her wings that she pointed to the entranceway that brought
Hug
back.
Becky with. She left her bird arms on for like 8 minutes to hug Becky with them.
Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch defeated the Judgment Day of Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez to win the titles.
I will reserve the right to change my opinion later if they make a story out of it. But I hate that Bayley got pulled from a Mania match for a Becky Lynch return to become a stat line and then to just turn around and drop him the next night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, there has to be a long-term plan there because Bailey's not really hurt.
Correct.
But even on Raw the next night, they reported it like a legit injury, and they were like, she's going to be out for a minute.
What happened if she's actually dinged up?
I mean, she may be dinged up, but
Everything I've heard is that she isn't. But I mean, also, too, like, if you're getting a paid vacation, you're getting a paid vacation. I don't know how mad you are at that.
Have you seen the Chris Van Vliet clip? So Van Vliet was interviewing Bayley and was talking about there was another match where she got like pulled from it. And she says something in the interview, and it was taped, weeks before WrestleMania. And she says, in a couple weeks, there's going to be one worse than this.
Oh.
So like this was the plan. Like this was always planned. And like she mentioned something about how like the reason that like this stuff happens to me is basically because like I'm a good soldier and like everybody knows like Bayley will just go along with it because she's like a great a model employee.
Right.
And I know like some wrestling fans are starting to hypothesize, oh, Bayley's not happy and she's going to end up leaving for AEW. I think there's just going to be more to the story here, and I think some of these things are going to play into it.
Well,
so I'm reserving the opportunity for it, but I hate that she got pulled from this match. I like Lyra a lot. I think she's really good. I hate the feathers in her hair and how they fall out in the ring during pay-per-view matches.
It's not because you hate birds.
Correct. It's not because I hate birds. Me hating birds is a rumor. I love birds. I watch a bird camera every day while I work.
You're also a birds fan.
Yes.
How do your friends think you hate birds if you're an Orioles fan?
I know, right? It's weird.
Your friends are dumb.
Birds aren't even real. It's fine.
All
right, bud, chill out.
But yeah, like I'm over big match Becks. Like I am.
The one I could see this going in a direction where Becky's the one that attacked Bayley.
Yep.
Bayley ends up coming back after Becky's won the IC title, and maybe the payoff for this for Bayley is that she gets to win it off of Becky at SummerSlam, or something like that.
And if that happens, I'll reserve the right to kind of change my feelings about
it. Did either of you see the exchange about the Charlotte Flair tweet with Nia with the roast comments?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Nia Jax took jabs at Charlotte
Yes.
Flair's marriage history and all of that. Did you see what Charlotte Flair's response was?
No.
She tweeted at noon today. She goes, "I don't know. I'm just gonna go wrestle." That's such a great response.
Oh my god.
Apparently, WWE is actively working on trying to
Get rid of it.
copyright strike anybody, because there's the full audio of the roast got leaked today.
Did it?
Yeah, so the WWE is trying to get it taken down, probably for one because people don't understand what roasts are anymore,
Correct.
and two, I do think that there's at least, or was at least, plans on releasing it as a
Bonus.
production on Netflix or something.
Look, I said this. I'm pretty sure I said this on like our preview episode, maybe another time before that. Soon as they announced that the Kill Tony guy was doing the roast of WrestleMania, I was just like, oh, people are gonna get butthurt, because like that's his whole brand. Have you never listened to Kill Tony? Have you never watched the Netflix special they just had? His entire brand is, how can I make people cry? Like, how can I make people butthurt, basically?
I mean, have people never watched like the roast of Tom Brady on Netflix, the Comedy Central roast? Go to YouTube and Google Ann Coulter at Comedy Central roast. They annihilated Ann Coulter, and she sat there and took every jab with a Botox smile on her face. Like,
honestly, too, like, how can you get upset at someone just saying the truth? Like, I'm sorry, Charlotte, you are divorced like 4 times. Like, what are, like, Nia wasn't out there being like, hey, Charlotte, how do you count to 4? Woo-hoo! 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 Like, that's insulting.
Right.
Calling her a horse.
Charlotte Flair, do you do your math via how many guys you slept with in the locker room? Like, if she with that one, you'd be like, oh fuck, that's real.
Yeah, like,
right.
All right. Finally, the lowest ranked match on not just night 1 of WrestleMania, but night 2 of WrestleMania for the WWE Undisputed Championship. John Cena wins number 17 against Cody Rhodes. 25 minutes, 3 seconds, time of the fall. Word life. It's the base of thugonomics.
I obviously love that he won 17. I ordered my shirt Sunday night.
Hit spinner belt.
There it is. I literally ordered my shirt Sunday night. Because I called it 6.5 years ago or something. Yeah, I mean, we talked about a little bit earlier. It's a bummer that the match and moment ends up kind of getting foreshadowed by the longest Travis Scott entrance of all time.
Fiend.
Like, yeah, we get it. We get it. Fiend. Yeah, cool.
Turn the goddamn song off.
Shut the fuck song off. I think it's a bummer that Cody Rhodes' title reign ended in a match that's getting panned this hard. But again, to talk about how this Mania is so much about, it was one of those Manias. There hasn't been a lot of them, but we get them every now and again. Is what happens next. We know what happens next with John. He's got 24 dates left. He told me that on Monday night.
27.
Sorry.
He also told you where 7 of them were going to be.
He did. So we have 20 unknown. But I think it's also really intriguing to what happens with Cody Rhodes now. Because yeah, he was going to he was going to finish the story, and then he was going to defend the belt. Now what? To me, that there's so much value in that now too. So,
I'm telling you,
match. yeah, I don't want to go any like too long for him. The match was good until it wasn't. And now I want to see now tell me what you're going to do with it.
I'm telling you, I'm predicting it now.
Oh,
Cody
boy.
Rhodes versus Travis Scott at SummerSlam. That's the match that's happening.
Hmm.
I'm not saying I want it to happen.
Yeah,
I'm saying
my grunt came because you're probably right.
like you keep Cody away from the world title as long as possible. Because he's probably going to be out now for the next like 2-3 months anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You keep him away from John. You bring him back. He's got to have an opponent. It's got to be a big match. It's got to still be in the realm of all of this. And at this point, look, Bad Bunny said he wanted to be a wrestler. They trained him how to wrestle. They got him in a ring. It was a big fucking deal because he's one of the biggest stars on the planet. Same thing with Logan Paul.
Fuck him.
I don't disagree, but still, he is one of the biggest like social media stars on the planet, whether we like it or not. Travis Scott falls into this exact same realm. This man is literally one of like the top recording artists in the world today.
There's a major difference, though, in Bad Bunny, Logan Paul, and Travis Scott.
Is it that so far as we can tell, Travis Scott has no idea what he's doing in a wrestling ring?
Two of them look athletic. One of them looks like he's a recording artist because he couldn't play football. That guy looks like he's the most uncoordinated motherfucker I've ever seen in my life. And I am me.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
And I get it.
Sold the Crossroads where he was just a fucking like dead brick. Like he fucking gave him the Weekend at Bernie's. He was just like,
and then the bell rang and he jumped right up.
Yeah. Oh boy.
That's more what I'm saying. Logan Paul, get it. Clickbait. He's used for his fucking social media content. I get it. I don't love it, but I understand it. It's the business. He can sell. Bad Bunny, multi-billion-dollar recording artist, can sell. I don't think you can teach Travis Scott to sell in 6 months. Unless you're trying to sell more records. Because I don't think he's going to be able to sell enough to be a good professional wrestler. Now, you're probably right, Joe. You're probably going to get Cody Rhodes versus Travis Scott on one of the 2 nights of Summerfest. I don't deny that. I think my bigger question here is, what's next for John? How do we get through the next 27 appearances?
Randy Orton.
That's happening at Backlash.
I still feel like there's a chance that CM Punk in there around like Money in the Bank.
Okay.
I think they run that back.
Okay.
Do you do one against Roman?
Okay, let's. Who do we think he drops the title to?
Cody.
So you think he gives it back to Cody?
I think he gives it back to Cody. I think that's how the John Cena tour ends. I think I don't know if it's the last match on it or if it's like the one right before the last match, depending on where dates fall and pay-per-views and all that. But I think this all leads to Cody. That's his rematch. He gets the title back. That's where I think this is going.
I have something that I can add on to that.
Go ahead.
It is Cody. And if it's not Cody, it's going to be Drew McIntyre. Because it's going to start trickling down date-wise that eventually John Cena is going to have to give up the WWE title or he's going to, quote, leave with it. Well, if he leaves with it, what power does Dwayne The Rock Johnson have? Because he ain't got a champion then. We're talking about heel Cody Rhodes. What if we get the Austin Brett double turn? It happens at Survivor Series. Cody turns heel. Cena turns face for the last 2 months of his run. And we get the match that I think is going to be the final match of John Cena's career. Insert random pay-per-view on December 28th. Number 3, John Cena versus The Rock. They're 1-1. They each won one at WrestleMania.
And it's got to be in Boston, right?
Got to be in Boston. Got to be at the Garden.
Yeah.
If Cena loses, we riot.
Yeah.
Face John Cena. Final boss Dwayne. One final time. One of them is going to have the better record against the other. Heel Cody Rhodes or Drew McIntyre as The Rock's new guy.
I mean, Drew is the face of Project Rock. That's really good.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just not depending on The Rock to show up to anything.
I mean, that's fair.
I'm not either. But if there's a big enough match that you could sell a pay-per-view without needing to know anything else, it's Rock versus John Cena.
Oh, for sure.
And if you're going to let John go out, who's he putting over? Who's he going to put over on that show? Drew McIntyre? He loses the title to him in his last night. That's when he loses it to Cody. Does Cody really need that rub? Personally, I would love for it to be The Rock. I would love for The Rock to win the title from him and go into WrestleMania next year, and that's how he faces Roman Reigns. But I think we're getting Roman versus Seth, so give me CM Punk versus fucking Rock at fucking.
Are we getting Rock Cody?
Give me that one.
That awkward shit comes full circle.
From last year shaking his hand to selling his soul. Why not?
I mean, I do think it's Cody, but as a fun little throwback in time, you know, for a guy who did take the belt and leave the company with it. CM Punk.
Yeah.
Could be the guy to get the belt off of John, to be the hero for WWE.
That'd be an interesting twist.
Do we think he could lose it to someone who wins Money in the Bank?
No. Unless it's like CM Punk.
I was going to say, who do we think actually wins Money in the Bank? I know it's a real early ballpark, but
yeah, I mean, like, sadly, WWE a lot of times now is giving it to guys who are like former world champions looking for their next one. When I think Tim had a great idea that, like, if you want to refresh Money in the Bank, there shouldn't be a single person in Money in the Bank who's ever been a world champion before. Like, if you're a former world champion, you should be disqualified from being in the Money in the Bank. So, like, you could get a Dom and Carmelo and like
the guy I think should win the briefcase doesn't cash in the briefcase. Braun Breaker wins the case and hands it to Seth Rollins. I am the enforcer.
Yes.
I am here to make sure you win the world title.
Dude, I'm all in on that.
I love that. Yeah.
I saw something today on I can't remember his Twitter or Blue Sky, and it said that John Cena should enter and win Money in the Bank so nobody can cash in on him as part of this. I'm gonna ruin wrestling.
I'm gonna ruin wrestling. Fuck you.
And I'm like, so I saw somebody though. If they do this, I'm fucking done. And I'm like, if they do this, I'm back in. Are you kidding me?
All in, boys.
Like, are you fucking kidding me? That's fucking brilliant.
Could you imagine him climbing the ladder and looking and seeing both the men's and the women's, and he just takes both?
How have they never done this before? How have they? Because there's no rule that says a champion can't enter it. Like, why couldn't Jey Uso enter to be able to cash it in on John?
There's also never been a rule where someone not involved in the match couldn't run up and get the fucking briefcase. Right. Brock Lesnar.
That's why I said, what if Cena just does what Brock Lesnar did? It just comes in and takes it. Dude, like, I'm like, I want this to happen. Are you kidding?
Could you imagine? Oh, even better. He takes the briefcase. They're like, well, possession is 9/10 of the law. He loses to CM Punk in the main event. They run down. He cashes in and
Dude, I fucking love it.
I'm
I
out.
fucking love it. But seriously, why couldn't the champion just win it and be like, nobody can cash in on me?
Got you, bitch.
I got you, bitch. Like, I fucking love it. Like, sign me up for that.
Oh, it's so good. Oh fuck. Do we have anything else about WrestleMania proper?
Here's what I'll say about the whole thing. Like, I watched it with two of my buddies on Saturday, and I watched it with Ryan on Sunday. I was sports entertained for there's a total of 14 matches, right? I was sports entertained for
The middle 7.
I was sports entertained for 8.5 of them. Not 9. I was sports entertained for Jacob and LA Knight.
Okay.
And I was sports entertained by the aftermath of Jey Uso winning. So like it's a C. It's a C. It's an average Mania. Overall. You got a couple of all-timers in there. You also had some stinkers. But let's be fair. They were due for one.
Mm-hmm.
They were due. If every WrestleMania is great, no WrestleManias are great. They were due for one.
Yeah.
36 was good for what it needed to be at the time. But everything since then, 37, 38, 39, 40 were all really, really good. 38 was an all-timer. 40 is an all-timer.
Mm-hmm.
And you had both main events of WrestleMania 40 were like empty the chamber sports entertainment.
Yes.
Nothing that WWE could have done this year was going to live up to WrestleMania 40.
No.
It doesn't necessarily justify a quote unquote bad Mania, a bad main event, whatever, however you want to label it, but it was bound to happen. So you know what? If you're going to have a bad one, you might as well have a bad one now and get better next year. Just rip the Band-Aid off. But I had fun with my friends, and that's the thing. Like, another reason I enjoy watching big shows with people and the people in my life is because even if it's a bad show, I enjoy it because I'm with the people in my life. So I watched it with two great friends on Saturday, my best friend on Sunday. I'm good. I'm also almost 40. Like, I'm not going to let a bad WrestleMania ruin my fucking month.
Yeah, I don't know. For my money, I'm a lot higher on the show than a C. I think I'd be at I'm not above a B. I think even B minus is a little bit more harsh than what I'm feeling. So I think I might just be at a solid like B for the overall 2 nights. I think that there are far worse WrestleManias in the last 41 years. I think there's some really rough ones in the early 30s. There's some really rough ones in the mid-teens. The Miz main evented one of these things. Like there's a lot there that you could look back on and be like, that was a stinker. I think that if you took, let me put it like this, right? There's some WrestleManias, the one night WrestleManias where there's like 10 matches on that card. You could find 10 matches between these 2 nights. You could find like 8 matches between these 2 nights and have a solid A+ WrestleMania card. It's that you had kind of the in between and you had to get us to 2 nights and you're filling in this and that and all that. And it's the disappointing in the ending. But honestly, I feel like the disappointment in the ending was a lot more relevant on the night that it happened than it is even a week later. You know, like I feel like that night when Rock doesn't show up, that night when Travis Scott is the big thing at the end, and nothing really happens after the match, and there's nothing exciting, and everything we were expecting, like especially based on last year's main event, isn't there. That's hard to not be disappointed in at the time. A week later, now that we've seen where some stuff is going, now that we've seen more story development, all that, we're kind of like, okay, it wasn't that big a deal. 5 years from now, you're rewatching this, it's not going to be that big a deal. You know, like in the moment, I'll even go as far to say this, and I truly believe this. Mike, if you and I had been there at this show, and Jim, I'll include you too, if you had magically also, if I could have flown to Vegas, you could have flown to Vegas. So I couldn't have. Don't worry, I could not have. But if we were all there at that show and we saw that live, we're probably a lot more disappointed and a lot more pissed off at how that main event ended than we were from the comfort of our homes.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because if I paid $900 to get in the building and the big thing in the main event was Travis fucking Scott, I'm probably kind of pissed off.
I'm pretty heated.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like your point about like how there was worse manias before. There's at least 2 manias in the last decade that are worse than this one.
Agreed.
I'm looking at U32 and I'm looking at U34.
Yep. Agreed.
So, you know, even in the last decade, like this is, you know, eighth out of a list of 10. It's like I said, it's still better than 2 of them.
But yeah, even on paper, 32 sucks out loud.
Oh, it stinks.
Like you look at that now in hindsight, and you're like, "What were they thinking?" Though, like,
dude, I just pulled up the 30. I just pulled up the 34 card, and I'm like, I forgot how bad this show was. That one was rough.
Stinks out loud.
It brutal.
I just got back to the tweet of the supposed scrapped match card that's been cycling through the internet.
Yeah. Oh, well, we'll talk about my topic next week, for the record.
Yeah.
I don't think that card's any better.
Not really.
Like, it's basically the same card that was announced, except for it's Braun Breaker versus Drew McIntyre. It's Bad Bunny versus Dominic Mysterio. It's the Wyatts versus the Judgment Day.
Mm-hmm.
Jade Cargill versus Nia Jax. Pass.
Yep.
The only good thing about that is it ends with Tiffy as the champion. We got there anyway. What a classic.
Yeah.
It's all the same. Man, stupid ass shit.
No, I agree with you. I actually think the card they ended up going with was more forward thinking of placing the pieces together for the future. Like, yeah, Tiffany Stratton could have cashed in at WrestleMania and left with the world title, but that's not the same thing as talking about her having had like a 4.5-star match with Charlotte.
Correct. Absolutely. Did you know that there was a TNA pay-per-view this weekend?
Like coming up?
Yeah, this coming up weekend.
No.
All right, real quick, speed round, and then we'll go to Wrestlers of the Week. Ace Austin and the Rascals versus the System. Brian Myers, Eddie Edwards, and JDC.
Austin.
I can't believe they're all still in TNA.
I'll take the Rascals.
Sure. I'll agree.
TNA Knockout World Tag Team title match. Ash by Elegance and Heather by Elegance versus Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley, Jakira Jackson and Lash Legend, and Spitfire, Danny Luna and Jody Threat.
I'll take the Gigi Dolan team because I know her.
Yeah. Say that again.
Ash and Heather by Elegance, Gigi and Tatum, Jakira Jackson and Lash Legend, or Spitfire.
The Ash by Elegances.
Okay, so they're going to take the champs to retain. I'll take Jakira Jackson and Lash Legend. Fuck it. Falls Count Anywhere match. Mustafa Ali versus Santana.
Mustafa Ali's there?
Mm-hmm.
I love that for him. Let's go with him.
Yeah, I'll go Mustafa Ali.
I'll go with Santana just to be different. New TNA International title, the champion Steve Macklin versus Eric Young.
Macklin retains.
EY.
I will also go with Steve Macklin. Ultimate X match for the TNA X Division Championship. Leon Slater, Sidney Akeem, the artist formerly known as Reggie, Casey Navarro, Matt Cardona, the champion Moose, and recently just added El Hijo del Vikingo.
Did you just say Moose is in an Ultimate X match?
He is the X Division champion.
The fuck?
Moose.
Oh boy. Anybody but Moose. Let's go for Kiko.
Joe just gave a thumbs up to Moose.
Remind me in the Ultimate X match, is it whoever ends up holding the title at the end, or is
whoever pulls it down off of the catwalk thingy?
Okay, so no, not Moose.
Vikingo.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Sydney. I'm gonna go with the formerly known as Reggie. Tag title match. The champions Matt and Jeff Hardy defend against the Nemeth brothers, Ryan and Nick.
Oh God. Nobody wins. Nobody wins. How is this a match in 2025? Holy hell.
From beautiful Los Angeles, California.
Oh God. The Nemeths, I guess.
I'll take the Hardys.
Nobody wins.
God, holy crap.
I'm going to go with Jim, though. I think the Nemeths walk away with the belts. TNA Knockouts title match. The champion Masha Slamovich versus known racist Tessa Blanchard.
Never Tessa. Give me Masha to retain.
Where did you say the show was? The South?
Beautiful Los Angeles, California.
Oh, no, yeah, then it's Masha.
They're going to fuck this up.
If this show was taking place, if it was taking place on the correct side of the Mason-Dixie, I'd have definitely said the Tessa
Mason-Dixie.
Dixie may be the best way to describe that, though.
Tessa, we coming for you. I hope Masha drops her on her head. TNA World Title match. Joe Hendry defends the title against Frankie Kazarian and TNA's former headache, now NXT's headache, All Ego Ethan Page.
I'm going to take Joe Hendry.
I'm going to take Ethan Page because I'd like to see what a TNA title on a WWE superstar looks like.
It wasn't enough for you when Joe Hendry showed up with it at WrestleMania.
I mean, that's just a feel good.
I also take Joe Hendry to retain, but I wouldn't be surprised if Ethan Page wins. All right, wrestlers of the week for the month. Final one of the month, I believe, right? Yep. Next week is May 1st.
Yeah.
We get 3 picks this week since it is WrestleMania weekend. Joe, because you seemed so energetic earlier today, I'll let you go first.
I'm going to pick the biggest winner of the weekend, Seth Rollins.
I thought you were going to say the WWE bank account.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just thought it out there.
True. That woman that probably got a bunch of backstage swag for running into the barricade.
For flopping like she's fucking LeBron James in a playoff game.
Oh my God, you ain't kidding. I would do the same thing. See how quick Nick Khan got over there from his front row ringside seat? That man got over there quick. He knew what he was doing.
4-5-40.
You think he had his cousin Tony on the line? Like, Lo, if she's pissed off enough, I'm gonna need Kenny Omega.
My first wrestler of the week, easy, number 17, John Cena.
All right, so my number one wrestler of the week, I'm gonna go out here and on a limb, and I'm gonna say it. If you haven't already, turn on your machines, go to the stand and deliver show from WrestleMania Saturday weekend. The best triple threat match of the weekend. This guy retained the NXT championship. Give me the ruler. Give me Oba Femi. Joseph.
I mean, while we're just naming people who won triple threat matches, I'm gonna take Io Sky.
Give me your new Intercontinental Champion and the best Intercontinental Champion, as we're learning, Dominic Mysterio.
I like it. I like it. I'm giving this one to Jim. This one's for Jim. Give me the new NXT Tag Team Champions. Give me old Hank and Tank.
Hank and Tank. I watched that shit on Saturday morning too. Fucking hell. I love me some Hank and Tank.
I thought you would.
I love it. I am all in. Give me a
Hank
they make
and
Tank merch. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, they do.
Oh, fuck me.
Joe, your final pick?
I'm going to go ahead and take someone who won probably his last match this past weekend and didn't look a day over 98 while doing it. Give me Sabu. I saw some clips from that on Instagram, and that was a Sabu match.
That was a choice.
Did you find the Hank and Tank shirt?
I did. It looks like a recycled Ascension shirt.
We hit first, we hit last.
I mean, it's good. That's a great saying.
That's a fantastic.
That's so good.
Saying. Jim, your final selection.
Give me the drunkest man at WrestleMania. Your new world champion, Jey Uso.
She's Muse. Day one ish. Or some shit.
Fire.
Like Internet.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, I'm pulling it up one more time. We got to hear this again.
I'm gonna go with Tiffany Stratton as the final nominee. So
I'm gonna listen to Jey Uso and then go walk my dog.
Fire for me. Are you asking just me, Us? Yeet. Hell yeah, I love it. Fire. Internet. I don't know what it is. Soak it in, because this is it right here. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but hell yeah. 2-time world shot girls. I'm damn near world heavyweight champ. Yo. Next, I'm in Vegas. That's all I'm saying.
I am damn near.
I don't know what it is.
I like to imagine that at some point in the year 1990, Al Gore once said to somebody, "Internet, I don't know what it is."
What it is.
Oh, it's so good.
So damn good.
Joe, do you have anything you want to plug before you exit?
No.
Okay, bye, Joe.
Sorry, my dog dropped the toy.
Okay.
No, I'm good. Looking forward to talking again next week.
Okay, bye, Joe.
Bye.
Goodbye.
You can catch me 3 Count Thursday. We had a long form WrestleMania recap on Tuesday. We had a normal live show this week. We have a Tuesday show coming up, obviously on Tuesday. So make sure you check that out. All podcast platforms, YouTube as well. Huddle Up Podcast. We will be doing a show this upcoming week to talk about the draft and off-season storylines. Haven't gotten together with that crew in a while, so it'll be good to do that. Just hit my link tree in my Twitter and Blue Sky bios. That's where you'll find everything.
You can follow the show at Take the Number 3 Wrestling. You can follow me at They Call Me Burn. That's all I got really to plug this week. It was a really weird week for me. Highs of highs, the lows of lows. But we're moving forward, just like John Cena's title run. We're moving forward.
There you go.
I don't have a 17th title run to move on to, but we're gonna move on from it. As always, we appreciate you guys hanging out with us. We appreciate you guys as always listening to the show. Please like, subscribe, thumbs up, rate, review, all those fun things. Until next week, for Joe and Jim, I am Mike. We will see you right here on the Take 3 Wrestling Podcast.